Good morning, students. Today, let us study about the disease caused by viroids. Let us study about potato spindle tuber viroid, which causes diseases in potato called as potato spindle tuber disease. So, in my last class, we studied about the diseases caused by fungi. We also studied about the diseases caused by protozoans, mycoplasma, parasitic plants, etc. So today let us study about the diseases caused by viroids. Taking an example of potato spindle tuber viroids. So before going in detail about these particular diseases, let us study what are these viroids. We know about viruses. These are the one which are submicroscopic. They are parasites where they can reproduce only in presence of the host. Only inside the host cell they can reproduce. Outside they are just like a non-living thing. And also we know that the viruses, they are made up of proteins as well as the nucleic acids. The nucleic acids can be either a DNA or RNA. We know about the viruses in detail. So what are these viroids? These are the infectious molecules where they infect plants and cause diseases in plants. They have only RNA as the genetic material. Protein or any other components is completely lacking. The viroids, they are small, circular, single-stranded RNA molecules. Please remember, viroids. Viruses, they have both protein capsid, and inside this protein capsids we can find a DNA as its genetic material or RNA as the genetic material. So let us study about these viroids in detail. Of course, you have studied about the viroids, its replication, its structure, everything in your previous semester. So however, let us just brief on what are these viroids, and later let us proceed about the disease, taking an example of potato spindle tuber viroids. So in this particular video lecture, we are going to study what are these viroids, how they have been classified, the structure of this viroid, and the replication of the viroids, as well as the disease caused by these viroids. So viroids were first discovered, and the name viroid was given by Theodor Otto Diener in 1971. Please remember, may be required for the point of your competitive examination. He was a plant pathologist, was working at Agricultural Research Center in Maryland. The first viroid to be identified was potato spindle tuber viroid, which was first identified by Theodor Otto Diener. And the first viroid which was identified was PSTVD, remember, potato spindle tuber viroid. At present, there are around 33 species have been identified. Then how these viroids are? As we all know, these viroids can be seen directly only through electron microscopy. So here I have put the view of an electron microscope where we could see a small fragments which you could find. These are the one which was identified as PSTV, that is potato spindle tuber viroid. So it can be seen only through electron microscopes. And these viroids are small, circular, single-stranded RNA molecules. Remember, see, there is an apostrophe. Please consider that it's not the viroids or small cylindrical small circular single stranded RNA molecules, and this particular RNA molecules can undergo a process of replication using the enzymes of the host. The host or the one which provide the enzymes which are required for the process of replication. They have the autonomy of replication by utilizing the enzymes required for its replication of that of a host. And it consists of a short stretch of nucleobases which are highly complementary single circular single stranded RNA without protein code. That we have to remember. If we call it as a viroid, you have to remember that it is one of a RNA molecule, single stranded circular RNA molecules without any proteinaceous covering or a coat is being completely lacking. That we have to remember. And the molecular weight of these viroids ranges from 1,07,000 to 1,27,000 daltons, and the viroids are about 240 to 380 nucleotide long, and they have a dumbbell structure. So you could see in this particular image, this is a image or a diagrammatic representation of a viroid where it is dumbbell shaped. So to conclude this particular slide, the viroids are small circular single stranded RNA molecules, has its autonomy of replication utilizing the enzymes of that of a host. Proteinaceous covering or a coat or a sheath is completely lacking, and this was first discovered by Theodor Otto Diener, and the first viroid which was identified or discovered was potato spindle tuber viroid. So how these viroids have been classified? Viroids have been classified into two groups. One is Abson viroids, the other one is Pospi viroids. What are these Abson viroids? These are the viroids which replicates inside the chloroplast of the infected plant. Remember, Abson viroids are the one which replicates inside the chloroplast of the infected plant. Whereas Pospi viroids, they replicates inside the nucleus and nucleolus. Some of the examples of Abson viroids: Avogadro sun-blotch viroid, P. latent mosaic viroids. Pospi viroids: potato spindle tuber viroid, coconut kadang viroid. Remember, most often I have seen this particular question, coconut kadang viroid. This is one of a viroid which is Pospi viroid, Pospi viridae, the family which it belongs. Remember this, coconut kadang. I have seen this particular question in many of the competitive examination, especially if you are going to take up the ICAR NET exam. That is your agricultural microbiology if you are going to take. I have seen frequently this particular question. Tomato plant macho viroid, citrus bent leaf viroid, pear blister canker viroids, etc. So, however, to remember this Abson viroids, example Avogadro sun-blotch, and remember it replicates in chloroplast. Pospi viroid, example, very famous example, potato spindle tuber viroid, coconut kadang viroid, remember. And it replicates, this Pospi viroids replicates inside the nucleus. That is very important. Another important thing is the smallest viroid is about 220 nucleobase. It is called small cytoplasmic RNA viroid, which is associated with rice yellow mottle Sorbemovirus. This is the smallest viroid which has been reported, which is having around 220 nucleobase. These may be important for the point of your competitive examination. And if you could see the structure of this potato spindle tuber viroid, this was sequenced by H.J. Cross. Remember, H.J. Cross in 1979 sequenced the nucleotide sequence of potato spindle tuber virus. Remember, these are the kind of questions you may expect in your competitive examination. And this particular potato spindle tuber viroids, please make a note, the potato spindle tuber viroid, here it is, the spelling mistake is there, please make a note, viroid, potato spindle tuber viroid. It was sequenced by H.J. Cross in 1979, and it consists of around 359 ribonucleotides. You know, they are RNA, they have RNA as their genetic material in them. And if you see the structure of this potato spindle tuber viroid, the genome sequence, where you could see the regions like this: left terminal region, right terminal region or domain, and you have a region called as pathogenicity region, that where they are involved in the process of pathogenicity causing disease. Central conserved viroids, these are the central conserved region where actually you can see the region which are involved in the process of for the coding of the various enzyme by that of the host. And there is also, and that is the region which is highly conserved, and there is a region called as variable region where the sequence that is the region where actually the sequence varies from one species to other and strain to the other strain. So overall, this potato spindle tuber viroid consists of around 359 ribonucleotides. It has got left terminal and right terminal domains, pathogenicity region, central conserved region, and the variable region. The variable region where the sequence varies from one species to other species or strain to the other strain. So this is about the classification of virus. To conclude here, it has been grouped into two based on where actually these viroids replicates either in a chloroplast or in the nucleus, or the kind of replication also matters, whether it is a symmetric or asymmetric replication of this RNA. So based on that, it has been classified, and the sequence of this potato spindle tuber was done by H.J. Cross. And it has got 359 nucleotides. Then coming to the replication of these viroids, how do they replicate? How actually this replication happen? So as I was mentioning, the viroids have been grouped into two family, that is Phosphiviridae and Avicen-Viridae. One is how they have been classified. One is based where actually they replicate, either in a chloroplast or in the nucleus. If it is in the chloroplast, they have been placed under Avicen-Viridae. And the type, and also based on how actually they replicate, which pathway they take for the process of replication of this RNA, whether it is a symmetric pathway or a asymmetric pathway. Symmetric pathway can be observed in Avicen-Viridae, whereas asymmetric pathway you can come across in Phosphiviridae. So let us study these in detail. Let us study how actually this Phosphiviridae, that is potato spindle tuber viroid, replicates, that is by asymmetric pathway. So here the viroid replicates by RNA transcription via rolling circle mechanism. I need not have to explain what is this rolling circle mechanism. In Phosphiviridae family, the circular plus strand RNA, once it infects the plant, positive circular strand of RNA, once it infects inside the host plant, they get transcribed by RNA polymerase, host RNA polymerase, remember. So this positive circular RNA, once it infects the host, it has to undergo a process of transcription, where the positive strand replicates or by the process of rolling circle mechanism, where that strand or that particular strand is a negative or a minus strand. Oligomeric, they produces oligomeric. Remember, oligomeric term I am using, oligomeric minus strands. See, this blue one is a oligomeric minus strand which has been transcribed from a positively stranded circular RNA which has been infected the host. So once this minus stranded oligomeric RNA has been synthesized, this again undergo a process of transcription, where actually once again positively stranded oligomeric RNA production or transcription happen. So this red one again, it is positive stranded. This positive stranded oligomeric RNA, positive stranded oligomeric RNA undergoes a process of cleavage. They undergo a process of cleavage using the host RNase. RNase is an enzyme which is involved in the process of the cleavage, of this oligomeric RNA strand into monomeric strands. So later, with the involvement of the host RNA ligase, remember what are these ligase? These are an enzyme which are involved in the process of the sealing, or they act like a molecular cements. So where the last phosphodiester bond has been formed by this particular ligase. The ligase is RNA ligase. It is the enzyme of the host. So once this positive circular RNA has been formed, they have an ability of again undergoing a process of replication, and the cycle continues. So once again I will repeat, in case of Pospeoviridae, the replication is a symmetric pathway, where actually once the positive circular RNA molecule is infecting the host cell, this particular plus stranded circular RNA undergo a process of transcription and produces oligomeric minus stranded RNA. This minus stranded RNA again undergo a process of transcription to produce the positive stranded oligomeric RNA. This positively stranded RNA molecule undergo a process of cleavage utilizing the enzymes of host called as RNase. This RNase is an enzyme which cleaves, and finally this monomeric RNA which has been positively stranded monomeric RNA which has been formed undergo a process of ligation to form a circular RNA molecule. So this is the kind of replication we can come across in Pospeoviridae viroideae species. Pospeoviridae species, example potato, spindle, tuber, viroid, where actually this replication happen inside the nucleus or the nucleolus of the host cell, and the kind of or the pathway of the replication here, it is called as a symmetric pathway. Kindly remember this much for your competitive examination. One is where the replication happen and what is the pathway of the replication of Pospeoviridae. Then coming to the replication in Avicen-Viroideae family. So as I was mentioning, one of the good example is Avogadro virus. So viroids, sorry. And the place of the replication of this RNA is chloroplast, and the pathway of replication is symmetric pathway. This you have to remember. So here it is symmetric pathway. Here also, once the positively stranded circular RNA molecules, or if they enter inside the host cell, again they also undergo a process of transcription and the replication by rolling circle mechanism. And to form the oligomeric. See here, another thing we have to remember here is oligomeric strand. However, it has been formed in the Pospio-viroideae members. Oligomeric strand has been produced by rolling circle mechanism. However, here the positively plus stranded RNA, circular RNA, they undergo a process of transcription, and with the help of RNA polymerase, they undergo a process of replication, and they never produce such kind of oligomeric strands. They produce monomeric strands. Where ribozymes are involved in the process of the formation of this monomeric strands. Ribozymes of the host are involved in the formation of this monomeric negative strands. This monomeric negative strand undergo a process of ligation to form a circular minus stranded RNA molecules. This minus stranded circular RNA molecule and again undergo a process of the transcription and the replication which happened by the rolling circle mechanism. Now the fragment which is being produced is a positive strand. This positive strand later, which has been transcribed by that of a minus strand, where they undergo a process of cleavage by the ribozymes of the host, and finally they undergo a process of ligation. RNA ligase are involved in the process of ligation to form a positively stranded RNA molecule. So this is how the replication happen in case of viroids. Remember, in case of Pospio-viridea, it is asymmetrical. Once the positive strand undergo a process of replication, they form oligomeric negative RNA. This oligomeric negative RNA, they again undergo a process of transcription to produce positive stranded RNA molecules, where this positive stranded RNA molecules, they undergo a process of cleavage by RNase, and later through the process of ligation they form positive stranded circular RNA molecules. Whereas in case of Viroideae family, here the positive stranded RNA molecules undergo process of rolling circle transcription to produce minus stranded RNA molecules which are monomeric. This monomeric RNA molecule undergo a process of again the replication by rolling circle mechanism to synthesize this positive stranded RNA molecules. This positive stranded RNA molecule which has been transcribed by the negative stranded RNA, they undergo a process of cleavage followed by ligation to form a positive stranded circular RNA. So this is about the replication of viroids. So now coming back to our potato spindle tuber. This is one of a disease which is being caused by potato spindle tuber viroid. As we all know, it belongs to the family Pospio-viroideae. And this particular disease is being distributed in North America, Russia, South Africa, and also reported in India, especially in Simla Hills in 1922. That was the first time which was reported in India. And if we are going to talk about this potato spindle tuber, as we all know, it is an infectious single-stranded circular RNA. Remember, it is an infectious single-stranded circular RNA viroid with a molecular weight of around 80,000 Dalton and with the nucleotides, ribonucleotide of around 359. And where it is being found? this can be seen in the infected plant. Where actually in the infected plant? In the sap. What is the sap? The liquid part. If you just squeeze the plant, whatever the liquid it comes out, that is called as sap. You can find them in the sap. And this particular viroid can be transmitted mechanically through the contaminated, whatever the equipments we are using during the process of harvest or during the process of planting or whatever it is, knives, scissors, etc. And also it can also be transmitted through seeds or pollens, and can also be that is, once it enters into the plant, it can get transmitted to the entire part of the plant through phloem. So, and also you can find this particular potato spindle tuber viroid can also pass through plasmodesmata. What is this plasmodesmata? It is a connection between one cell to the other cell. So it can pass even through this plasmodesmata and infect the neighboring cells. And also they can be transmitted through aphids, grasshoppers, beetles, bugs, etc. So this is the distribution and about the potato spindle tuber viroid. So what are the disease symptoms of this potato spindle tuber viroid? The plant, you could see the kindly observe the images or the photos which I have put. The plant become erect. The plant become erect, that is, the leaves become erect, spindle shape, and they are dwarf. They may not grow luxuriously once the infection has happened. The leaf becomes small. The leaves of the infected plants become small, erect, and dark green. Darker green, not like that of a normal leaves. They have become slightly darker than that of a normal leaves. Sometimes the leaves are rolled. They get rolled and they get even twisted, like curling. They get twisted. You could see those even in this particular image. The tubers, you can see the tubers also. What are these tuber? There is a modified stem of potatoes where actually the reserved food materials you can find. That part is an economically important part. So these tubers become elongated with cylindrical middle portion. So you can see this infected potatoes images which we have put over here. So you could find the tubers becoming elongated middle portion and the tapering end, and the tuber may show the following deformities, like they become small, elongated, cylindrical, spindle or dumbbell shaped. See, like this dumbbell shape with prominent eyes. Prominent eyes, these are the eyes. Why these eyes are meant for? So you know they undergo process of vegetative propagation, and through this even you would have seen in your house also, if you keep this tuber for a long time, you could see the eyes. From there actually the germination of the stem and all, or the leaves and all formation happen. So these are called as eyes, which become very much prominent and evenly distributed all over the tuber. And some of the tubers may also get cracked. You could see the tubers which has been cracked. Sprouting is lower than that of a healthy tubers. So here you could see the sprouting in the sense the germination of this tuber is comparatively slower than that of a healthy one. So once again I will repeat, the plant showed dwarfism, the leaves and also the leaves become erect, twisted, rolled and darker green in color, and the tubers are elongated, spindle shaped or with conspicuous or prominent eyes can be seen, and also the tuber show cracking can be observed, and the sprouting of this particular tuber is little slower than that of a healthy ones. So these are some of the disease symptom of this potato spindle tuber viroid. And how to control this particular disease? There are no chemical or biological controls available to control this potato spindle tuber viroid. Therefore, control is essential through the use of healthy viroid free seeds or planting materials and good crop sanitary measures. That is, your plantation or your field should be properly maintained, taking out the infected part of the plants and burning them into ashes. This Proper sanitary measures has to be followed. If infection does occur, the destruction of the infected plants and strict hygiene measures to be to prevent the infection of the susceptible crops are the only course of action. That is, there is no treatment for this particular viroid infection. Only thing is, we have to maintain our plantation well in good hygienic condition, and also the equipment whatever we are going to use should be appropriate, and try to control the insect pest which are the one which are involved in the process of the transmission of this particular disease. So this is about the potato spindle tuber viroid. You can also refer the links which I have given, and also the pathology books which I have listed out. So thank you students for your patience to listen this particular lecture. Let's meet in my next class with bacterial diseases. Thank you.